The following is an AI-generated script derived from one of Bob Cochran's essays that likely made it into his books. The voice is an AI approximation of Bob's voice. This essay, and others like it, can be found on Bob's YouTube channel by searching for the handle Clever2Wise. Let's get started. Essay 7. Neo had the right idea. The Matrix featured Neo making a choice to see reality as it actually was. Taking the red pill represented a desire to experience truth as it actually was, instead of a relatively comfortable illusion. This wasn't just a movie. It may have been at least partially a documentary about consciousness, albeit with better special effects and more leather outfits. Everyone exists within their own personal matrix, except instead of being plugged into machines, they're plugged into someone else's controlled narratives about what's real, what's important, what's truth, and what's possible. The perception problem. Human brains act as sophisticated filtering systems capable of taking in a river of information at any given moment and drastically reducing it so we experience only a small, manageable drip based on what our subconscious thinks is most relevant and important. The problem lies in how our subconscious filters have been programmed, by whom, and in support of what agendas. This is like having an opinionated personal assistant who decides which emails you will and won't ever see. For instance, when someone seeks evidence that reality is fluid and responsive to consciousness, a subconscious filter might respond, "Sorry, that doesn't match your current beliefs, so instead, here's more evidence that life is a difficult struggle." Our perception is made possible through vibrational resonance with what we're perceiving, and can also be disabled by our subconscious filters. That is, where your mental radio tuner is set determines what fraction of your total environment you could perceive, if your beliefs and/or subconscious filters would allow you to perceive it. Hence, between our momentary tuner setting beliefs and filters, we miss most all of what is really going on near us, in that our perception can be blocked by our beliefs. Believing is seeing. If our mental tuner, beliefs, and filters aren't aligned, something can be in the room with us and we either see nothing or our brain creates a placeholder. That's why one person would see a burning bush while another would see an interdimensional light being hovering in a bush. Some tell stories about the indigenous who couldn't see the first large sailing ships to arrive on their shores, since their mind had no frame of reference for such a thing. Even those who saw something may have seen just a placeholder in the form of a huge canoe. Most individuals operate within a very limited frequency ranges of perception. They may perceive normal 3D phenomena clearly, but anything outside of pre-programmed parameters likely gets either filtered out or misinterpreted. This resembles having a radio that only receives AM stations when FM, satellite, and internet radio are available. As part of the shift, more and more are now expanding their perceptual bandwidth and are therefore detecting energies and entities that others won't notice. Some are even beginning to see people's bioenergy fields, experience mathematically improbable synchronicities, and inhabit a reality that's significantly more magical than the standard issue version. Collective perception filters. Beyond individual perception filters, there also exists a collective filtering system. Society's agreed upon version of real and possible versus unreal and impossible. This collective filter is maintained by institutions, the media, and peer pressure. Anyone perceiving energy, information, or entities outside of collectively approved frequency ranges may get labeled as crazy, delusional, or having overactive imagination. It's like living in a town where everyone agrees the sky is green and anyone insisting it's blue may get referred to the eye doctor. How to upgrade our perception. Upgrading our perception may involve several steps. First, individuals should question their current beliefs and filter settings. A challenge because our ego is likely convinced that our current perception is not only flawless, but the one and only possible reality. Second, people must be willing to live in full view of others, in the land of trial and error, as they expand and grow. Expanding our perceptual range involves noticing things others can't yet see, hear, or feel, which creates the potential for social awkwardness. Third, our consciousness should be tuned to ever higher frequencies by way of meditation, what we choose to expose ourselves to, like nature and pets, and what we choose to limit our exposure to, like fear based media. If fear based media isn't purposely weaponized to hijack our mental tuner while overwhelming our filters, it's been doing a really good imitation. The plot twist. As more people become breaking news, something else to keep you off center sober, and upgrade their personal tuners, collective tuners, and filters will also begin to shift. Yesterday's impossibilities may become today's emerging science and tomorrow's common knowledge. As part of the shift, we're now in the process of experiencing a mass perceptual upgrade with increasing numbers of people perceiving beyond standard issue reality. This is like a software update for humanity. Those who choose to receive the upgrade may need to be patient, as those who've refused the upgrade try to lecture them on what is and isn't possible. Those who've put in the work to upgrade their perception, by way of tuner, filter, and belief upgrades and maintenance, are increasingly experiencing a new normal, including improved intuitive abilities, more frequent positive synchronicities, improved perception of energy fields, incidents of intuition or direct knowing, and a general recognition that reality is far more fluid and responsive than originally advertised. The choice. The question comes down to whether you are satisfied with your current perceptual settings or are curious about additional options for your evolution. The red pill, that is, the prioritization of truth over sleepwalking, remains perpetually available. What will it be? For more information on Bob Cochran's first book, Emerging Imaginal You, a time-traveling note to self from the corner of science and spirituality, or his second book, Hyperdimensional You, Surfing the Shift Toward Mastery, check out clever2wise.com, that's clever2wise.com, or on Facebook, #clever2wise. Feel free to also subscribe and like videos on Bob's YouTube channel, which can be located by searching for the handle @clever2wise.